Welcome back to Divulgence, everybody. Today we have the one and only, my friend, your friend, author, researcher, filmmaker, podcaster, great author, great everything, William Ramsey. William, what's going on, my friend? Great to see you again.
Not much. Thanks for having me. Good to be back with you.
So obviously, the Epstein files, the releases don't keep on coming, but the revelations keep on coming. We're seeing more arrests. We're seeing some more depositions. We're seeing a little more investigating, more so on the other side of the world. And I think we've even seen one suicide by, I think, a Norwegian guy who was implicated or mentioned in the files. So yeah, lots going on.
Yeah, well, since we last talked, February, I think it was the 6th, right?
Something like that, yeah. So
almost a month ago.
So much.
And a war started. So we're
And a war.
bombing the daylights out of, well, you're from Canada, but the U.S. decided to preemptively destroy a bunch of people's lives on the other side of the world.
Yeah, and that went from 0 to 60 very, very fast. Obviously,
Sure
they hit a lot of the main leaders. I think like 4 or 5 out of like 7 or so of the main leaders they hit in the first day, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, Israel
and the religious leader Khomeini was the, I think, number 2 guy in the entire worldwide Shia community. So this is like a religious war. There's a religious aspect, not for the people perpetrating it or the suckers who voted for Trump like me, but the people who were on the receiving end. This is a very important political figure and supranational. So it's international figure, even though Khomeini was just in Iran. I think he was number 2 in the whole Shia, Shia Sunni division. He was number 2. So I think the Shia population is like significant, hundreds of millions. I mean, the population of Persia or Iran is like 93 or 92, and then you add another 100 million. So there's a lot of people in Pakistan and Iraq and other Shia sites who are very angry about Khomeini's death.
I was just going to actually say I've also been seeing, and at this point, I'm not 100% sure if they're real because it's just not something I'm putting all my attention into right now. But I remember, I think the second day, I remember seeing videos in Canada, the US, even Iran, Dubai, maybe, and other places where they were celebrating it. What are your thoughts on his support in Iran and in those communities? Is it really kind of, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Some of these things happen where and the same thing kind of happened in the invasion of Russia, where they were blamed for it being Soviet Union at the time when Hitler rolled in, and they're all Bolsheviks.
Okay.
But underneath that is a whole ethnicity in history, and the Russian history that goes back 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 years. Persians go back as far as almost pre-recorded history. So they're going to tap into something even deeper than Islam. Islam's only been around since the 7th century. So they're going to, I think that's really it is. Like, this is us. And for them, it's existential. So I think it's just the stupidest thing the American government's ever done, maybe in its history. It's the dumbest thing you could even imagine. The most really vicious and venal kind of thing, because they like to trick people like, oh, we're doing a diplomatic, negotiation, and then they just decapitated the whole 140 people or something. Yeah. So I think that really what they're calculating. I don't think Trump is that bright, and I think they're miscalculating like how long it's going to take, and they just moved the goalpost already, even within 5 days. Like, the goalposts have already changed. Like, oh, we may have ground troops. And nobody, people like me, I voted for Trump because I actually thought what he was saying actually had meaning. Like, I'm actually going to release the Epstein files, and I'm actually going to stop with these wars, because that's what he said over and over again. And all his underlings said that too, Patel and Pondy. So, I mean, this is a huge, it's treachery. Like, people don't use this word enough, but like a vicious betrayal. So it's really treacherous, a treachery against the American people as a whole. It's very dark too, because they killed a bunch of kids too. So we're basically
Yeah, that
Just
wasn't.
like killing little children all the time, especially already in Gaza and now it's in Iran. And it's like these people have no moral compass, Netanyahu or Trump. They're psychopathic, and they're doing this for reasons that are inhuman, really.
Yeah, and I mean, Netanyahu's son is living it up in Miami.
And
Baron
his wife
Trump.
too, is my understanding. She's there too, hanging out.
Okay, Baron
And
Trump.
Netanyahu got first thing Netanyahu did is get started in a war and then flew off to Berlin.
Yeah,
So he didn't even
right. That's
stay
right.
at home. He just got on his plane and bailed. So I mean, it must be weird for the Israelis. Like, hey, there's our leader. Like, we're gonna
Yeah.
go get a war. Like, oh no, and they're getting
Where is he?
bombed.
He's in
Yeah,
Germany. Yeah, and
yeah,
I
he's
mean,
in
Trump.
Germany fighting, or Cyprus or somewhere. I don't even know.
Trump went to a party at Mar-a-Lago after, and then he went to get burgers at Whataburger. I think there was footage of him. So that's what he
Nothing
did.
would surprise me. I know he
He did.
like okayed the war to start from Mar-a-Lago. So I think these are real huge tells.
Yeah, and then
And the Epstein files are not going away too. So
no, fuck that, man. No, people like you and me are gonna make sure, and obviously people, some people in the government. It seems like Thomas Massey and I forget the other gentleman's name, but his kind of
there's people talking about Burchett. Mace is like pushing.
sure,
That's
yeah,
a
that's true.
woman, so she's trying to
So
get
there's some people
hearings.
for sure. Yeah.
So I
My
think a lot of them. Ted Lieu is my congressman, and he's like directly saying that Trump's raping people in the files. So to his credit, so I hopefully it's bipartisan. It should be. I think MAGA, whatever that concept was, is gone, and
yeah, that is
you can't be a
that
Christian,
is
and
some
you can't be a Christian and support this. So I mean, there's kids like 5-year-old kids being raped and filmed. So if you're supporting Trump, you should just quit going to church. I mean, I really mean this. Quit going to church and shut up. Don't talk about anything. Like, you should not be a Christian. Like, this is
so
not like one of those things where you get on the fence and go, well, I don't know, let's minimize this. No, it's not minimizable. It's
so
like World War III. Like, it's really bad.
yeah. I had to your point about the Christianity. I had on shoot, what's his name? Jackson.
Hinkle?
No, sorry, Jackson Laymeyer. He is the founder of Pastors for Trump. He's on the White House Faith Council. He's not his personal pastor, but he knows the Trumps. He's a good friend of the Trumps, and he's Christian. And I was throwing him questions about that kind of stuff, and he was in his own way justifying it. So
They're trafficking thousands of people and kids. Like, the whole, like, one of the myths that they promoted under the Epstein files is like, oh, Jeff just like little teen girls. It's
right,
not true.
yeah.
There are 9 and 10-year-old kids, and they're throwing people to the alligators. They're threatening. I mean, I did a show yesterday called the Epstein Civil documents, which are incredible just in one aspect of the Epstein files. But there are threats, ritual, like genital biting, baby factories. Are they murdering their babies? Like, it's that bad. And so what do Christians are really good at least in the United States, is see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. So they'll just ignore it's really happening, and then they don't have to make a moral judgment,
Yeah.
right? They've done it in so many of these other things, 9/11, for me, West Memphis 3. It's like, well, I just didn't even look into it. I can't be bothered. Like, wow. It's amazing that you can take that position. So for me, like, looking at the whole entire Christian, I mean all denominations, and looking at their response to the Epstein files is really a huge tell, because I think they're hypocrites. I mean that in the truest sense of the word, where hypocrite means actor. So I think they're just acting. They don't really believe their lips are near, but their hearts are far away. I really believe that.
I agree with you, William. I really do.
And there's a lot of what's really incredible. I don't want to name names. I will name names if it gets the time, but some of these people have, like, I'm really on board with these Christian martyrs now. They stood up against evil at their time, and then they're standing up again, and then evil happens in their time, and they run and just they become changed by it. Like, they don't even fight the evil. Like, you couldn't even believe it. Like, I mean, you're not going to mock God. Like, you can mock your fellow man, but you think God can't figure this stuff out? Do you believe in God? Because if you did, you wouldn't act the way you did. So I mean,
basically.
some of these are, I'm talking about Christian leaders right now.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to what. Yeah.
The files are grotesque. There's horrible stuff. Unbelievable, like threats, and a lot of the stuff is recent. Like they're making there's allegations of making child porn at that mansion in 971st Street on Upper East Side or East Side Manhattan that weren't looked into. One of the interesting things that I've learned is
Schoolhouse, or no, that wasn't the schoolhouse.
no, his huge mansion.
Yeah, the one that used to be a schoolhouse. He had one in
That's
New
right.
York.
That's right. It did used to
Okay,
be
it
a
was the
school.
schoolhouse.
Used to be a private school. You're right.
Okay, gotcha.
Like a really high-end private school.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've learned since we talked last is how much information was coming in after Epstein got arrested. And what happened is because once he was arrested, people felt comfortable to talk, which shows the intimidation and the threats and the blackmail that were taking place. So once he was arrested back in July of 2019, all this intake stuff came in. They never did anything about it under Trump, right? And so then there was also like a lot of important writings that were done by Jeffrey Berman before Trump, and then Trump fired him and then left office. So like there were like things coming in that were just totally ignored. And nobody knew it because it's going into like, secretive places like the FBI.
Yeah.
And all that. So it's a credit to Massey and Ro Khanna for getting this stuff finally released, to the public. And they started the whole redaction thing in March 2025, even before the Epstein Files Transparency Act was actually drafted. Like it's unbelievable. So they were like Bondi and I'm assuming Kash Patel had to have known that they were in this huge redaction fight back in March. So almost like a full year ago. And didn't tell the public, like, I've got them on my desk. If you remember, this was the month where they had that fake, white binder event. Yeah.
Wow. Jeez, it's been that long, man.
That's a very important date. So everybody should be remembering that date and all the players in there. Because in my opinion, a lot of those people got paid off or they moved on to different, like one of those girls went to Daily Wire and got a job. Like, so you can kind of tell like, oh, okay, so you're going to go through this stunt. I knew right away a lot. Well, I was the only one because I had studied Epstein, but I knew right away it was a fraud. And they put him out redacted. They already put out redacted pages back then, if you remember that. So it was really a clumsy attempt at a cover-up. When you have a clumsy attempt at a cover-up like that, then it even elicits more interest. Like it has this kind of inverted, paradoxical Streisand effect. Like, well, why are you redacting that? Must be something really bad in there. And there certainly was. Yeah.
And then it's unfortunate we've learned in the last few days about these secret warehouses that Epstein had, and just the amount of information that was likely lost in there, right? And just let me see. I think I have. Actually, no, I have. Well, I have this document here. It's not one of the warehouses, but it's from Roy Black. It's a letter from Roy Black to Roy Black from William Riley regarding Jeffrey Epstein. So on October 7th, 2005, investigator Paul Lavery visited the residence of Jeff Epstein, 358 El Brillo Way, Palm Beach, and pursuant to the instructions of attorney Roy Black, removed items of potential evidentiary value from his home. These items were subsequently turned over to the investigator William Riley for inventory and safeguarding purposes. The items removed from the house were Dell Precision Computer, a Dell Dimension Computer, Computer 5 silver-colored bound telephone directories, 2 green-colored bound telephone directories, 6 orange-colored bound telephone directories, 16 blue-black colored telephone directories, 1 metal HS 8mm tape with notations, some photos, exercises, jokes, shower, lingerie, 3 printed pages, photographs, women lying nude, magazines, 2 books, annual guide to New York City erotica, sexy New York City 2000, 11 boxes containing sex toys, VHS tapes, 30 tapes of pornography, South Park Volume 5, South Park Volume 4, the Witches of Eastwick, Rush Hour, Madonna, The Trackers, Raging Bull, three Brookstone massagers, 4 unboxed sex toys, clothing items, 2 silk thongs, black, 1 silk thong white, silver colored chain with a clip, woman's black hose, woman's black underwear, framed picture with a female, 1 desk tray with pens, tape recorder, yada yada. Oh, here we go. Identification cards, Harvard University identification card, Epstein. FIA concealed weapons permit expiring 2010, Epstein. The Breakers identification card, Epstein. 1 DVD titled Seagate Kids Reunion, March 9th, 2005. 1 calendar, miscellaneous greeting cards, announcements, personal letters, lab results, and just under $2,300 in cash. So that's just like one little sweep, and that's like, that was before the smaller, let's call it the smaller case. Just imagine all the information and evidence that was flushed and burned and destroyed.
They're lying. We don't even know. We don't know. Our own government is deliberately lying. Bondi is lying, and so is Patel. He lied to Congress. So I mean, they said that the amount of information is in the terabytes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's something I mentioned on an earlier show, that I believe that I was looking at some of the emails that were released. I forget whose emails they were, someone related to the investigations, and they were talking about how much data they had throughout the email thread, and essentially when you add it up, and all things considered with the documents that have been released, 1% makes sense as to how much has actually been released. Maybe less, maybe even less. It's possible. So that is just unfucking believable. Like 1% is going to have us all fucking busy for the rest of our lives. Like, what's 100%?
I think that they underestimated the resolve of the people who are interested in this topic, because it really is a global conflagration. Like I titled one of my shows on Epstein. So people are researching and looking into it from different angles. Like
Lots of angles. Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't the only suicide. There was a guy in there who had a long Russian name who supposedly committed suicide in a high-end hotel. He was a billionaire. I guess he was super depressed of being rich, so he killed himself.
Yeah, man.
But he was in the Epstein file. So you see people conveniently commit suicide or die in jail. So they knew something really bad's going on. I forgot this guy's name. I'll find it, but I did a post on this guy. Epstein has to be seen not just they really did a good job of just seeing him as a sexual deviant, which he was, but they didn't see him as part of this whole criminal network, like the global octopus, some people have called it.
Yeah,
because he was. Do you know he was investigated for 5 years for drug trafficking?
Epstein was.
Yes.
Oh,
no. Yeah. So he's a potential drug trafficker. He also was associating people, like there's been other claims about his financial skullduggery. Like he would short sell stuff and like do inside trading and penny, stocks and almost all of like the black book of Wall Street scams he was involved in. So he was just like almost kind of like a multifaceted criminal, I think is a better way to look at it.
Yeah.
Or like a kingpin, almost like a kingpin. But yeah, what's this guy's name? Shoot. So yeah, let me see if I can bring up this file. It's just incredible stuff. Can you share the screen? Somebody found this thing. This is a formal file, 2015. Special agent in charge. Fusion Center. I mean, they I don't know why this is redacted. There's no like potential, I guess agency. But look at this document. Like it's a 63-page document.
And is this the drug trafficking investigation?
Correct.
Hmm.
The request is submitted by the DEA, New York, for reporting available to Jeffrey Epstein. Reporting indicates the above individuals are involved in illegitimate wire transfers, which are tied to illicit drug and or prostitution activities occurring in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So there's illegitimate wire transfers tied to illicit drug and prostitution. So not just prostitution. You can see that they put some time into this.
Well, yeah.
Financial information. Like, I should do a show just on this alone, because it just shows like the technical details of these wire transfers. And so the work has already been done, guys. Like, you don't have to go and like do the groundwork. The government did all this data for you. Like, it's 63 pages. Financial information. Look at the names. They like blocked out all the targets. Like, what? There's Jeff, and then why isn't everybody else there? So they've done the work. This is another important document. Like, there was 15 targets, and they blocked out 14. They just left Jeff on there. See that?
Yeah, number 4.
All these suspicious activity reports and stuff. Incredible. Like, I mean, this is the stuff that's so important that came out. Do you know that they tried to investigate him for breaking his once he was arrested, he's supposed to like fulfill certain obligations. They did a full scale investigation on him for not fulfilling his like obligations to the court. Like, there's a whole nother document about that. Like, he's just constantly like skirting the law and getting lawyers and stuff. It's just astonishing. Yeah, I think dystopian.
Well, he didn't give a shit, man. He was above. He knew he was above the law.
He's above
right?
the
He
law.
just,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, he had help from a huge network of everything. And in one of the more recent like civil litigation things that I talked about yesterday, he was saying that he knew people in the FBI and the DEA and local and state federal stuff, and like he would get away with stuff. So he's threatening his victims, like he's part of a cartel almost. And
right.
And in the way that he's treated, it sure certainly seems like that. Even his sweetheart deal, like, I think my understanding is he was literally raping like a 14-year-old, but they moved the prosecution to a 16-year-old so that he could slide under certain criminal, statutes.
Yeah.
And that's like one example that he cost a deal. It cost a loss of job. And like this global conflagration, like people dying, like there's so many people have lost jobs and like moved off of jobs once they realized the totality of what they were doing to these kids, that they were breeding them in incubators and stuff, breeding babies. Like, it's real. That stuff's real. The statements are in these things, but the same thing. I mean, there's a weird network. Like, it's so strange too, because people are making this tie back to Pizzagate, and the big thing in Pizzagate was that Abramovich woman doing the spirit cooking. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
She's also friends with Yao of God, John of God of Brazil. Do you remember him? Do you know
Yep.
him?
I
And
do.
he was involved in
do.
the baby factories. He was selling babies on the black market for whatever purpose. I don't even know. But she was like friends with Yao of God. And here she is around all these people. And there's like a guy named Stockman who worked for this thing called the Edge Foundation, which seemed to be an influence kind of op where they were trying to influence people in Silicon Valley. And he's like, I got to get all you guys together so you can come and meet this great artist. Her name is Marina Abramovich, like this full-on witch. And the names weren't like small fry. It was like Zuckerberg and Sergey Brin and Musk and all these other people. They were starting to try to have like, meetings with them in 2014, 2015, and none of these people ever divulge that stuff. Let's talk about divulgence.
Yeah, exactly, man. Why we name it. Is there any links? I can't remember off the top of my head for some reason. Are there links to Abramovich and Epstein or Maxwell?
There's not direct links to my understanding, but there's links like this Edge Foundation was very close. The guy who was the head of the Edge Foundation was very close to Epstein, and there he is trying to get Abramovich. Let me see if I can find those Abramovich documents.
Sure.
I wish I could find this Russian guy who died.
Have you gone through or seen any of the big long interviews with him and Steve Bannon?
I haven't watched all
I
those
think we
yet.
need
I
to
need
touch
to.
on it. Okay, I honestly think that Bannon is trying to like prep him up and coach him to the point where like I think they think, okay, well, when all this comes out, he's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay, Jeff. We'll get you through it. Like, and it seems like he's coaching him, whether Bannon believes it or not. But yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting, and he asks him a lot of interesting questions, like, "Do you think you're a devil?" kind of thing, and yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of interesting stuff. Makes you
Interesting.
wonder what is going on there. Yeah, yeah. Bannon is sketchy. Bannon is so sketchy. Like he's got balls. He's still putting out his podcast and all this, and like there's just all this shit coming out about him. Yeah, I don't know what he's
He
gonna do.
gosh, what's this guy's name? Edge. He had a very intimate relationship with Epstein all the way up until his Epstein's arrest in July. So I don't think he ever divulged that. Like I don't think he ever like, hey, you know, here it is right here. Look at this. This is actually pretty incredible. This is 2014. This is the Abramovich things. Podesta. It's really overlaps. It's really incredible because this overlaps with the Podesta emails where he's inviting Abramovich to come for spirit cooking in 2015. So
Okay.
that's why people need to like start thinking about this as a network, not as
Yeah,
just Epstein.
absolutely.
Can you bring that up?
I'd like to start building some chronological timelines of these emails.
Brockman. I keep saying Stockman. It's Brockman. I apologize. This is an Intake Edge Master Class, Cavallo Point Sausalito. This is 2014 from Epstein to Brockman. He says, as always, any help you need, I am there. But Brockman has sent out an earlier email. Listen to these names. Paul Allen, that's Microsoft head, Bezos, Amazon, Sergey Brin, Google, Jeff Epstein, Tony Fadell, I don't know who that is, Bill Gates, right, Microsoft, Marissa Mayer ran YouTube, Yuri Milner, don't know Morin, Mirvold is second or third in command at Microsoft, Elon Musk, obviously everybody knows that, Larry Page, Sean Parker's Facebook, Pritzker is Pritzker family, which are a bunch of weirdos who like transgenderism. Safra is like huge banking family. Selena Simoni, I don't know school. Evan Williams is Facebook. Zuckerberg's Facebook. Hey, Jeffrey, one of 2 hot projects. Could use some help. Edge Masterclass for the weekend of 26-28. Class will be head by Hans Ulrich Obrist, director of London Serpentine Gallery. That looks sketchy right off the top. But a number of artists and architects will accompany HUO, Hans Ulrich Obrist. The first to confirm is one at the very top of my list, Marina Abramovich. #1 performance artist in the world. So she's going to meet. And this meeting happened. Not everybody on that list went. What?
I was just going to say, so here we go. So here's a link to Jeffrey and Abramovich.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's yeah, I'd say it's either a direct link or one off. Like it's not far. So
that's amazing.
This is I can try to find the
also side note
EFT number.
Sean, that interesting. That's when Sean Parker was with Facebook. I could totally see Sean Parker doing some sketchy shit. That's for damn sure, especially with young girls. So I could see him being in on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was in that. I mean, he's featured in that movie about
Facebook.
Facebook, right?
Yeah, he's the Napster guy, and he weaseled his way into Facebook and caused a bunch of shit.
Made $1 billion too, though, right?
Oh, show.
Yeah. See, I mean, yeah. Okay. Let's see. I cut these things off because I've learned a lot about journalism in this whole thing because these journalists will just rip your research off and then not give you credit. So I don't put the EFTAs on some of those. but it's in there. You can do, if you do the work. But some of these
Oh,
bigger,
like the file number, the file, like the
yeah,
file
the
number.
Bates number, EFTA number.
Gotcha.
It's in there though, but
Wow.
that's it. So that's it. 2014. So connection between Brockman, Epstein, all these tech elites, and Abramovich, who was close to Yao of God doing the same thing. And then
Yeah.
Yao of God, when
And
he got exposed,
Oprah too is a bit close to him.
people died. Yeah. What's that?
I believe Oprah was close with him, and quite a few.
Very much. Very much.
Yeah.
She's he was a huckster. Like there's a documentary about him, and like some of its victims are like,
Yeah.
this guy's the original gangster. Like he's like a full he literally
Yeah.
sold like holy water as like something of value.
Yeah. I've seen the Netflix doc on him, and yeah.
And then he would like do things like, oh, here's my healing. And if it didn't work, it was your fault. You didn't have enough faith.
Right.
That's
Exactly. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. He's total snake
And
oil.
so then people would like forestall their like health thing because they trusted Yah of God. And then nothing was for free, is my understanding too. He didn't heal for free.
No.
So anyway, so there's Abramovich. I mean, so it overlaps. You have to see Pizzagate in a whole new thing with all these code words and all this stuff. There's new code words and all the things that are happening, like jerky and grape soda and cream cheese and this guy Brockman said really creepy things about babies. Like, I went to this party and there were 12 one-year-old babies. Like, with the next thing of excitement. Like, why are you getting excited about that?
Yeah, no kidding. That's crazy, man.
It's the same thing that happened I don't know if you followed the whole Pizzagate stuff, but there was like this Lozado family, and like, I'm bringing my kids. They're 8, 10, and 12, and they're going to be in the hot tub. Like, who says that?
Yeah. So excited about getting in the hot tub or partying with the kids, Yeah. Jesus, yeah. And like just seeing even the social media accounts connected with like someone like Alephantis, it's like the stuff they say and the stuff that they kind of just signal off to each other. It's sometimes it's not that subtle though.
True. Sometimes it is like you don't understand it at first glance. Like, what are you talking about? Walnut sauce, or like Haitian sauce and stuff. Like, but the same thing is reflected in this cream sauce and stuff.
Yes.
And I think that's a code for like white orgy or something like that. Like they do.
Okay.
And it conforms with some of these other things that came out of the civil suits where they're like gang raping kids and stuff. Like, it's really horrible. Can you bring up that slide I brought? This is another Brockman who we just talked about. It's trying to set up like this is like an influence op. Like, this is the steps, right? You get them together. You're meeting this new artist, and then who knows what happens later? You're slowly kind of initiating people. Yeah. This is Brockman to Epstein. P.S. You missed the big event on Saturday. A party with a dozen beautiful East Side girls. Well, a dozen one-year-olds! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark!
Wow.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Unbelievable. That's crazy, man. Like,
what's he mean? We're supposed to take that literally, or what's going on?
Like, one-year-olds. What else could you? It'll be wild to see like what some of these, if we do see people getting some admissions or clarifications on what any of this stuff means. I mean, there was the Bill Gates admission, which was like pretty pathetic in my opinion. Like, yes, okay, fine, yeah, I slept with 2 Russian women, but like, they were not underage, and one was a bridge champion and the other was like a neuroscientist or something, and like because those are the exact kind of people that are going to have STDs, and like I didn't do anything else wrong and that's it, and like let's kind of move on. And yeah, pathetic, man. That like he definitely needs to be deposed and investigated as well.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean the lack of action by the DOJ. These people are gonna. I mean, I'd be super nervous if I was Bondi or Cash Patel because
yeah,
I think they can be brought up for obstruction of justice charges at the minimum. So I think that once all this information in the American public it distills to it because it's burning through the public through the grapevine like wildfire. There, people are trying to. My social media is just blowing up. Every post I put up, people are like, "What
yeah,
the
you're
heck?"
doing great, man. You're doing
I
great.
put
Yeah,
this one up yesterday about the sonogram. Like they literally have some sonogram at Little St. James. Why do you need that? And then you see in these civil
yeah,
files these sonograms of kids. Like it's
that's right.
kind of strange. Like non-parent. Like supposedly Jeff has no kids. There's some indications that he might have like started inseminating people,
Right.
but he has no kids of his own. So what's
No
the
kidding. Okay.
issue? And he's not a woman. So what's his issue with these sonograms? Pictures of sonograms. So these girls, the victims, have pictures of sonograms, wondering where their kids are.
Yeah.
And so that then the dentist chair, one of the
Dentist
commenters, was like,
chairs. Yeah.
so then you say, well, that looks very similar to a thing that a woman would sit in to give birth, right? I mean, so then they're and like all these stories, they're like, these kids don't know what's going on. These
We're
are horrible demon people. These are totally evil demon people. And they kept quiet. And the other thing is like people are covering for them. How much they knew of the totality of everything is another question. But like
yeah.
clearly, I mean, there's one in one of these like intake reports. It's like, oh, how long has this been going on? 40 years is what they said. Like 40 years. The person who's like, I knew Jeff Epstein, he's making the statement to the FBI in 2019. And one of the interesting statements is like, hey, he was trying to pick up like kids in Northern California. No, I'd never heard that he was in Northern California. And then there's like other things about him paying $400,000 to support this school for the arts in Michigan called Interlochen in 1990s.
Yep.
So like it sounds like that's like one of the original influence ops. Like he's trying to get into that to the young, talented kids for whatever reason. Maybe and you know, he doesn't they're racist, so they didn't like black people, and they did seem to have preference. Like I think when they found Virginia Giuffre, she was like that was their ideal, was this kind of Nazi Aryan ideal, blonde hair, blue eyes. And that's why she was coveted and kind of kept within that system. I think that was it. And they were gonna have a baby with her. I don't know if you know the story, but they took her aside at Little St. James and said, "We want you to have a baby. We'll give you 200K," I think they said. And then we'll take the baby, no questions asked. You know, where does this things go? I don't know. Where are these babies? Like, I mean, I think that's would activate a criminal investigation right away. So I'd be nervous for Bondi and Patel. I really would, if I were them. Like, these people aren't going to cover for you. Like, this is a treacherous group of people, and at the moment that they feel like you're just like dead weight, they'll just throw you to the wolves or the alligators,
Absolutely.
figuratively.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
It's wild.
Yeah, they didn't
Wild.
like white people either. They're totally Jewish racist. Well, not all of them are
Yeah.
Jewish, but the goyim stuff is all over these files. But you know, Staley's not Jewish. Gates isn't Jewish. Some of these other tech leaders aren't. So, but
Yeah. They play along though.
Max Wexner, Maxwell, and Epstein, and a lot of the people in their inner circle of like not the kind of lower level, but the doctors and things. They're all Jews. They're all Jewish. And then like the guys from Israel, Ehud Barak and all this stuff.
Well, exactly.
Prince Andrew isn't Jewish. And that's another thing that happened since we talked last is the arrest of Prince Andrew
Yeah,
in
that's right.
Mandelson.
Mandelson.
That's the first arrest of a royal in 400 years.
Wild, right? Pretty crazy.
Here's the kicker. See, these are the elements that people don't, they don't perceive at first glance is that these guys were involved probably in sex trafficking, in my opinion. I mean, Andrew for sure. I don't know so much about Mandelson. He has some sketchy stuff in his background, but they weren't arrested for sex trafficking or sex things. They got arrested for state secrets. And so that's like one of this information gathering elements of Epstein. So you can talk drug investigation, sketchy wire transfer, sketchy finance, and sex trafficking. So he's a nexus point for all that stuff, but also the state secrets. I was reading through some of the Andrew stuff, and apparently he was a liaison for some high-tech defense stuff, and he would like go on these liaison things and then send stuff directly to Epstein. Like he would get home within 5 minutes, he'd be sending information to Epstein. Like that was like first on his list. Oh, I just talked about a nuclear sub. Here, Jeff, I know you're interested in this subject. Like without a second thought.
God. Well, he's a
like without like maybe I shouldn't send this to just
schmuck.
my buddy or whatever, you know?
Yeah, Andrew's a fucking schmuck. I mean, I think of like all the people, like just at the top of my head of all the people, I think he's probably the biggest schmuck. Like he's the royal family. Like look at the royal family's sketchy as hell too. I think they're all sketchy in their own way, and they're all allegedly criminals in their own way, or grifters in their own way, or just pure evil in their own way, dating back to God knows how long. So, but with that said, like still, you're part of the royal family. You have all this, born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Like you just abuse it so bad. Like you have Epstein and girls to Buckingham Palace, and like God knows what went on there. The state secrets, when Epstein was arrested, he's going for a walk with him in the park. Like he's just being allowing Epstein to just trail him around like a prop. The interview where I forget what network, but the British interview where he just fell apart and was
like I don't sweat, and like he had almost every like body language negative thing come across.
Like, it's terrible.
Terrible. Yeah. Oh, he's terrible. I didn't think he grew up with such privilege. I think he had a silver, like a golden spoon or something.
Yeah.
Like, and all the stories about him are terrible. Like entitled, I'm the queen's son. I don't work.
He's immature. He's
lazy. Do you know that they like had to carry around 72 stuffed animals for his bed, like a little girl? So like you never heard that story? They he would have to have his stuffed animals with him at all times. So he's like crazy. An infant. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah, dude, that's when you talk about how weird the royal families are. Like you can talk about Mountbatten, you can talk about King Charles III and his affiliation with the Magic Circle, which overlaps with Epstein because some David Blaine and Copperfield, whose real name is Kotkin, were both part of this kind of secret society Magic Circle. 72 teddy bears, which are arranged in a precise pyramid-like and documented daily order.
Ritual. Seems like kind of a ritual kind of thing, right?
72. That's the number of the demons in the Goetia.
Is it? Okay. Wow.
Sure is.
That's why I love talking to you, man. You know your shit. That's crazy. Collection of some really interest. Wow.
You have to remember their power is really incredible. It's not really assessed like on a magazine's top 100 richest people in the world. They have access to wealth that isn't calculable, because all the people who own land, who are living in the Commonwealth, they're living on land at the behest of the Queen. Like that leasehold goes to the Queen or King. So they are the people who oversee all that, and they can just pull the rug on it. And there's all kinds of like stuff about Charles, where like if people die intestate, that wealth goes back to the king who doesn't need it. So they have incalculable wealth. They're almost like the king of Saudi Arabia, where he owns all the oil that's coming out of that land. So he's a trillionaire, but they never put it on like the Forbes 400 because it's beyond like somebody who has just a bunch of assets.
No, for sure.
Bring up that picture of William. I mean, picture of Andrew. It's really something else. I think it's an insight of how successful they were, because that's Epstein, Prince Andrew, or former Prince Andrew. He's no longer.
Oh, wow! Yeah, look at that.
And
can you zoom in a little bit with your end so the other people can see it, if you're able to?
Let me see. But they're set apart. I don't know where this is. It's something. But I called it when I posted this on X. I have a lot of stuff on X, so people can go check it out.
Yeah, great stuff.
But they're set apart from the hoi polloi. They're set apart from the commoners. You see all the commoners above, and these two have that access.
There you go.
And you can see there's Jeff and Ghislaine. This is from the files. I think this is a huge tell of how successful and influence, operators they were. Like this, I don't know what year this is. I have no idea, but it's in the files. I was like, oh, that's crazy. And Epstein was at that mansion where I think they were filming like infant, like child, like 5-year-old porn, according to the civil litigation. Like
Which
that's how
mansion
crazy
is
this is because
okay.
that should necessitate a criminal investigation right away is the rape of a 5-year-old. So that you can tell that this is just a massive cover up. Like if you can't protect little kids like that, you're just a demon.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
Like, why are you paying taxes? Like, I mean, the other thing, that's what's going to happen is people are going to realize how bad it is. You talked about the files and the terabytes and stuff. There's 2.5 million files that were not divulged because of there were elements of death, torture, and child porn. And these are the ones we already have that were heavily redacted. Like some of these you can't even read. You're just trying to ascertain what you can. But yeah, this is just one of many. Like, I mean, let me see if I can find this Wexner one. Do you want to play this video below? It's the guy that says Prince Andrew.
Sure.
Prince Andrew have a nickname at that time?
Well,
Prince Andrew have a nickname at that time?
Well, his official code. So if he was to come into the palace, he would call sign was Purple 41. But he did have a nickname. But it's a bit rude for me to tell you when I'll tell you. But you're not going to be able to air it. It was just called. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It was called the cunt. Plain and simple. Because unfortunately, he upset everyone he come across. He was the most unpopular member of the royal family while I was there, and he was just rude, arrogant. I mean, his sense of self-entitlement was breathtaking.
Prince Andrew have a nickname at that time?
All right, so not a very nice. I wouldn't want to have that nickname. Let's just leave it at that. Can you bring up this picture? So a Wexner's on the stand. Barely knew Jeff, but here's a picture of him. They're in the Caribbean, it looks like to me. But that's Wexner, somebody next to him who's been redacted, Epstein, Mandelson, and Jean-Luc Brunel.
See, this is a perfect example because I watched the Wexner deposition, and I think only one, maybe two pictures are referenced. And I think Wexner tries to say like those are the only times that like we really did anything together. So like you know what I mean? So here's another one. Like he should have to come back. Well, what about this photo? Because obviously he's being very freaking friendly with him. He says in the deposition many times that they weren't friendly, they weren't friends, it was just business. They barely ever met. You know, I only went to see his places a couple times for an hour, and it was crummy. And but yeah, obviously they're
lying. They're just stone cold liars.
Oh shit.
They're just BSers. It's from like they did such haphazard. I mean, it's obviously intentionally haphazard jobs. I'll give you an example of some of the files that are on here, because some are just individual PDFs, and then some are really, give you insight. Can you bring this up?
Oh, sure.
So like there's redactions of what child porn or kids. I don't know. Like this seems to be a young girl with Epstein. He liked to take pictures of himself in bed with kids. But you'll like, why are these redactions? Who are these people? Weird pictures, possible victims. I don't know how old these kids are. They took payment in some things in antiques. So they were skilled at like, money laundering or value laundering, if you will. So there's like weird chairs and statuaries and stuff like that around. Maybe they're shopping for them. But this is an example. This is a guy, Nowak, who he's playing ping pong. This goes back to Ping Pong Pizza, right?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And this is a guy at Harvard still. So there they are playing ping pong.
Marty Supreme, Jeffrey Supreme over here.
And pictures of kind of strange like eyes wide shut buildings. I don't even know what this is. But the thing is that you would have to find this PDF and scroll through it to get to where it gets important. So this is, I'm pretty sure that's Jeff in the black. They're scouting for houses somewhere that looks like Caribbean or tropical. This guy on the far left is their Slavic bodyguard. I forgot his name, but he's some kind of ex-military guy. You can tell he works out. You can tell. So he kind of stalks them on the left, but the green is, I'm pretty sure it's Ghislaine.
Yeah.
Both in jail.
Why is she redacted in one of them? That's
I
weird.
don't know. Like you just wonder. Like,
and then the very next photo, unredacted.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's Sergey Brin right there in the white, but don't quote me on that. But it really looks like him. I'm pretty good with faces, but that means he's hanging out with Jeff.
This is the classic stripes.
Sergey Brin, rando girl in a bikini, and then that's Jean-Luc Brunel. Like I bet Brin would not like want this divulged in any way, shape, or form. But that's who that's Mandelson and Epstein. But you'd have to kind of scroll through this because this is the backdrop of, I don't know what island this is, maybe St. Bart's. I don't know. I don't know the Caribbean that well. Like I'm in California. But you can just kind of scroll through and they redact. Look at the time of redacting. Look at the small redaction on this. Like they must have had like some kind of teen girl or something on there on that boat. Do you see that in the middle there?
Yeah.
But this is like, so then
oh, there now it's unredacted there. Can you? Yeah, there. Can you?
There's like a kid or something. I don't know.
Can you go to there? Yeah. Can you there? I don't think anything's
right. You're
changed
right.
there. Can you zoom in there?
Yeah.
Because I think nothing's changed.
So they're with some boy, like little boy.
Something.
Are they like trafficking
It's a little
boys?
boy. It's a little boy, dude. There you fucking, and it's unredacted.
Are they trafficking little boys too? Because he's redacted here. Let's go back. There he is, right?
Yeah.
My point of showing this PDF is you have to scroll all the way down to get the picture I just showed you of these three guys together. Wexner's lying. He's hanging out and like, this is a guy like chilling out. Like these are this. You don't just like show, like I would just happen to be at St. Bart's and all of a sudden I found out that Brunel Mandelston and Epstein were there. You know what I mean? Like this is a meeting, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense to you?
Yeah. They're having especially in this photo, they're having a talk, right? They're all focused. They're having, they're not like broken off into separate conversations. One conversation's being had, it looks like, and they're all giving it their attention to that conversation. Like,
and why I don't know why did somebody take all these pictures? Clearly Wexner, like it's 100% Wexner.
Is this PDF
you can see the EFTA right here. That's it.
Is this yours or is it?
No, this is from the Epstein files.
Because I want to look at that photo of the boats again later because that's so crazy. Like
we can go back up there.
You have the kid. Yeah, I'd like to get my copy of it because that's crazy, man. Like you have the kid redacted, and then unredacted. Like what the hell? That's wild.
That's Brunel.
Brunel, right? Yeah.
Always a very distinctive kind of smile and look. This is the guy who like trafficked 3 12-year-old girls to Jeff. I think it was
for his birthday.
Came out for his birthday. It's Jeff smiling, living his best life.
Yeah, Jeff. Look at Jeff, eh?
There's some kid over there. I don't know. Mandelson's arrested. I don't know. These are strange. Like, why did they take somebody just sit there and just snap so many pictures of these guys over and over? It seems odd. They just must have thought it would never come out to the public.
See, look at they're even closer now. So the conversation's like getting really
more intimate. Like, what are we talking about? Let's go sit down.
So it's interesting how that kid is still there.
Wexner has a cigar.
Yeah.
Kids, why are the kids there? Like, it's just like, what's going on? You can see the sun's changed. They're under a cloud or something.
That's freaky.
It reminds me, if you remember the scene from Godfather 2 where they're having the birthday cake and stuff like that, they're outside They're kind of in a tropical environment talking, you know. Kind of reminds me of that, like
Yes.
they're having like a business talk. Look at the old Apple like listening device. Like that's one of
Yeah.
the first ones.
The
Like,
Nano. I think that's a
yeah,
Nano.
I think
The
so,
first
man.
Nano.
I mean, this is a young girl or somebody with anorexia or no fat on her body. I don't know what, you know,
Yeah, young model
a
probably.
model, a bunch of magazines on the thing. But we can go back. Like, why did they go through and redact this little kid?
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
There he is. Like,
Is
what
that
is
the
going
only,
on?
is that the only photo where he's unredacted?
I don't know. I didn't really see that last time I looked at this. I just saw Wexner and Sergey Brin. Like, here's Brin. These guys do not want to be known to hanging out with this guy. So I don't know.
Sorry, who is Sergey Brin again? Was he with
The two founders of Google were Sergey Brin
Google? Right, Google. Sorry.
and I forgot the other guy's name. They're the two original founders.
Another interesting thing about the photos, every once in a while, like if it's in the house or something, you'll keep noticing. Well, not keep noticing, but I've noticed numerous times these DNA or paternity tests lying around.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Have you noticed? Yeah, right.
I have noticed it.
Which is
Okay, you tell me. You tell me.
okay.
Look at the guy in the white shirt,
Okay.
and then look at this. I don't know if we can do a side by side. You got to pull that up, yeah. You can find a side view. Pretty close.
Okay, wait. Let's see that nose.
Nose
Okay, so he's got a fairly straight, if not a little bit of a.
Let me see if I can find another side pic of him. A silhouette.
Because the nose will be pretty. The nose will be pretty a big tell, I think, in this case. They're right there.
Okay, let's see.
Right
this
there.
is the other guy. So that's Larry Page and Sergey Brin.
Larry Page, that's what I thought. Okay.
Kind of has a distinctive nose.
Oh, go down, go right. Look at just below your mouse a little bit. There's an even better one. Right down one more.
This
There.
one.
There you go. There.
Okay, then let's go back.
Okay.
Let's go back to the old. Share screen.
Got it in my mind.
All right, now look at them. Say that's pretty much a 95% rare.
Oh,
Same size too, not a huge guy, you know.
that nose is
skinnier
very.
face.
That nose is very. I'm just gonna Sergey Brin. I just want to see it. There's Sergey Brin. Do you know when this picture's from?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it can be dated. I would assume it's part of a series. So
Okay, so he probably looks like this. Yeah. Ooh.
this is probably 20 years ago. So he's
I'd
probably
say at least 90 to
40.
95. Yeah, okay. I'd say 90, 95% for sure. Yeah, I'd say so.
So there he is with Brunel. You'd never want this to come out like, oh crap, these guys are all keeping this stuff quiet, you know. That they were part of an influence op, dude.
Google, yeah.
And there's like a girl blacked out too here, right on the left, if you see that.
Oh yeah,
She's
yeah.
redacted. Like, okay, so they're hanging out with some of the people he possibly trafficked. I'd say, I mean, I think that's Bren.
I think so too.
And so you can date it based on the that Apple product is probably around when this whole series was.
Oh, okay. Here
done.
first. Here, I'll help you out with that. Oh no. It wasn't the first iPod Nano. It was I think it's the second generation. Let me just check third generation just to be sure.
It would make sense if it was 20 years ago.
No, okay, second generation release date. Because like it's probably fairly new to her because they're rich and everything. 2006, September 2006 is when that iPod Nano second generation came out. So
makes perfect sense.
Sergey,
this guy Nowak's all over the files.
Yeah, man. And that's what he looks. Oh, damn. I just found a photo of him in like a
Yeah, bring it up.
t-shirt,
Bring
and
it
it
up.
looks and it looks pretty good. So while I pull that up, if you want to pull up that photo again, just for like a
Yeah, I can get back there.
comparison. But here's what I found. I went Sergey Brin 2006. That's what I got.
Yep, there you go. That's him. He has
Right?
a very distinctive kind of profile.
Yeah. And that nose gives him away, right?
Yeah,
I
there
think.
he is. Okay.
So there's that. And now let's pull up.
I wonder if I could invert this. I don't know how to do that.
There you go. Now
Are
give
you
it a
allowed to
little
flip this?
flip. Sorry, what?
I don't know how to flip a picture.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you mean mirror it?
Mirror it, yeah, because then you
Yeah,
could get the same profile. Guys, it's 95% him. It's
yeah,
the same body size too. He's not a big guy. He's a diminutive.
I'd say
guy.
that. I actually, I'm saying that's him. I'm going with
Yeah.
that's him. I
He's hanging out
will.
with him now,
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Wow. That's crazy.
You know, they may not have known the totality of like what's going on. That's clearly some kind of island in the Caribbean. I don't know where it is. Probably ask like AI to find that. Weird color scheme, blue and white. There's a lot of these files like that, guys. People are finding new stuff. So
And then is that? Oh yeah. And then he was also here. I'll pull this one up real quick. He was also in these ones at that Edge. What was it? The Edge.
right.
dinner?
So we mentioned that guy earlier,
Yeah.
Brockman.
Oh, sorry. Which guy?
No, but Brockman was the guy who put it all together. So Brockman was kind of the head. When I mentioned him trying to get all these guys together to hang out with Abramovich, it's Brockman's Edge.
He put this together as well.
He
Gotcha.
He was like the head guy of Edge.
Okay. Well, there you go.
These pictures are from Edge. If you go to the Edge Foundation,
Yes.
you can see Bren.
Yeah, this is.
So it's a huge influence op.
Yeah, we talked about that on one of our shows together a few back. So there, yeah. So there you go. There, he's at the dinner with him, and yeah, that's definitely a picture of him hanging out with him and you know Jean-Luc Brunel and all that. That's crazy.
Yeah, go type in Bren Edge Foundation pics, or just Edge Foundation pics, and you'll see all these people, and all of a sudden Jeffrey Epstein will show up. He's in there.
Yeah, he's in the background of one because
Yeah.
they didn't publish it, right? So
Yeah, something like that. Here's an interesting picture. I don't know the date of this, but it's of Epstein carrying bags for Wexner. I'm pretty sure that's Wexner. But I think it's a power dynamic here because Jeff is, helping Wexner get to the car carrying his bags. So he's his bag man, right? He's his.
That's good. Yeah.
It's like his lackey or whatever. No, it's just like a gesture. Like so. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
If you can, I'll ask you later, or if you put it in the private chat, what PowerPoint this is, because I'd like to take.
It's not a PowerPoint; it's a PDF in the files.
Or the PDF. I'm sorry.
Everything's discernible by the Bates number. You just have to type the Bates number into something. The Bates number on the you have to make sure you get to the very top one. The Bates number is EFTA 0025 4398.
Thank you. Also, here I'll pull these up again. We went through them on another episode, but here's the Edge dinner. So yeah, you got Musk, you got Sergey Brin.
There's Marissa Meyer. So those are all the people. When I mentioned that email that Brockman is sending out, these guys are There's Brockman right there.
Brockman, yeah.
And you can see Brin. He has that same picture, that face on the picture that I
yeah.
showed. Maybe he's with Gene Bugozzi.
Max.
That might be the other guy he's with on that thing, Liquid Junk.
That's him.
It's the other person in the picture.
Oh, in the picture.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's with what? Liquid Jungle Lab. Okay. And then there's Jeff
There he is, unnoticed though. He's
Jeff
not like they don't
in a
say it.
polo. Yeah. They didn't release the photo of him on the website, but yeah. Interesting.
See, I mean, we just discovered Brent. I didn't see Brent there last time. So
That's crazy, man.
yeah.
And then we saw that child too, unredacted.
Yeah, like what's up with that? So I mean, that's the whole thing. They tried to convince the public that what is going on is just trafficking kind of underage girls, 16-year-old girls. And they were trafficking everything. It was like a Caligula level evil stuff.
Yeah, Caligula, absolutely.
Yeah,
Caligula,
like really, really bad, like horrible stuff. Here's Wexner wearing his Kabbalah. Did you see him with his Kabbalah wristband
Yeah,
when he was testifying?
during the testimony.
Yeah. But it's some kind of modified. It has like little bells on there.
Yeah, it was interesting. And of his classic vest that he likes to wear, his
Leather vest.
Yeah, badass. Okay. Do you know? Can you confirm something for me? The whole thing about why didn't the Biden administration release the files? Were they all sealed during the Biden administration? Is that why they weren't released? Can you confirm that? Or
I don't know. I mean, all these different government agencies are collecting information and keeping it confidential or putting it into a confidential bin for investigative material. So I don't know why there just wasn't that much pressure on it. But people, if you remember, during the presidential campaign, that was an issue. People wanted to know. They wanted to know the Epstein list, right? They didn't know how big the files were. They just didn't know. I don't think people really knew the quantity and quality of what was being aggregated by the government. But they wanted to find out if it was there were co-conspirators. That's my recollection. And so then it was ran on that. And then they were talking to Bondi. Okay, where's this list you're going to talk about? She's like, it's on my desk. And then they did that baloney release, the most transparent presidency ever, about a year ago. And that only piqued people's interest.
Yeah.
And then they delayed and said nothing. And they started redacting right there in March, to my knowledge. And then the left, the Democrats are like, well, if you're not releasing this, maybe there's something in there that implicates. They always are trying to get Trump. They've been after Trump from the get-go, right? Yeah. So they want to see if there's something there is a lot about Trump. And so then they realized, Massey, I think, is really taking that kind of, jumped party loyalty, but I think in the best way possible, because there's tens of thousands of victims. I think there's and there's like child porn being made, like CSAM stuff. So then they passed the thing in November, and they're supposed to release everything in 30 days. They didn't do that, and then they did that first drop of 500,000. That's there's 12 data sets, and the first 7 data sets are everything that was dropped, I think, in late December, and then the remaining stuff was dropped January 30th.
Does that include the congressional emails and everything too that were released? Do you know?
I don't know what you mean by that. Like, I don't know. I think they just tried to say everything that was pertaining to the investigation of Epstein.
Okay. Another thing I mentioned when we were talking about Steve Bannon, in one of those interviews where I think he's like trying to coach him about interviewing, he says, quote, so they're talking about like him being in prison. And he says, so the rumors you hear in prison about the people who commit the type of crimes you commit, end quote. He doesn't say allegedly or anything like that. He just straight up says the type of crimes you commit. So it's interesting, the kind of tell that you pick up from that. I'll have to watch the whole interviews, but I went through a little bit of them, and that's something I've picked up. And
yeah, I have to watch that. I haven't watched it yet, but there's it's bad. Like, they were hanging out with like some of the richest, most powerful people around, even Bren. They, I don't think those guys, they're just naive. Like, I don't think they're naive anymore, but naive tech giants, they didn't know what they were around. I'm sure they didn't see everything. And I think Bannon, to his credit, like he was invited to the island, and I think he just backed
Right.
out at the last minute, according to what I could
so-
ascertain from the files.
So Bannon's never been to the island. That's interesting.
I don't know. It doesn't mean he hasn't been. It just
No, for sure. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
According to what's in the emails. Like I think he was invited to the island in May of 2019 because he's on a list with 2 other guys. They're like, get their passports and come to the island. Epstein's trying to get him to the island for like 8 days. Like, come to the island and hang out. And I think all the way up to the end. And then there was some element of a cancellation. Cancel Jeff. I mean, sorry, cancel Bannon.
Oh, okay.
That's what I saw. So, but somebody, I don't know what the real thing. I just only can say what's in these files. I think they're all. My take is that everybody involved around Epstein is lying. They're all lying and like anybody involved in criminal stuff is minimizing connection and minimizing guilt. And so I think that's really what's going on. Like,
can you share?
Never knew him. Just knew him.
Yeah, he's a creep. He's a con man.
I stayed away in 2005 and kicked him out. That's the talking point about Trump. I just posted something on X yesterday where Epstein is saying I hung out with the Trump boys, and it was in 2016, right around the time that that the whole presidential campaign's taking place.
That's crazy. Can you share I think we were talking about before the show, some Eyes Wide Shut.
It's right there. It's right in that thing.
You could. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
If you want to go through it, I mean, you can. That's like taken from a scene of True Detective.
True Detective.
Because it's really like that's what it is. There's all kind of bacchanalia parties. This girl was actually in All Eyes Wide Shut, and she's in the files. Her name is London House. You can read this document. My CV is I've done these movies, blah, blah, blah. I'm good friends with Prince Andrew. And the last movie I did was Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. So you literally have somebody who's friends with Prince Andrew who was in Eyes Wide Shut, 1999. So you can see the EFTA number there. It's crazy. All these people are, I suspect, slightly jealous that they were never invited to an Epstein party. Being one of those privy to such an event, barely legal, I hope, Russian girls and all. I can say that I understand why. There really is nothing else I've ever experienced quite like it. Nobel Prize winners, bunch of people intimately involved in cough. Numerix cough, what is that? I don't know. And cough. Prediction company cough. Jeff himself, some rich people who really don't matter, all surrounded by 18, 19, 20. Again, I hope. Your old nude Eastern European girls frolicking with them and then proceeding into one big orgy party. It was really strikingly similar to Eyes Wide Shut, without the costumes, that is.
Without the costumes. Oh, man.
So that's a statement of somebody about orgying and nudity. Here's another secret society I never knew of called the Zodiac, that at one point had Paul Volcker and Bob Peary and Tom Brokaw. If you remember watching TV news, Tom Brokaw was in there. And they're trying to get this guy Murray Gell-Mann to get involved. But it's in the files. And this just showed this shows the extent of the trafficking. This is from a civil lawsuit. But they say, according to the fact pattern, granted this is a civil lawsuit, each time they would travel to one of these donations, the same pattern of sexual abuse would occur, often with a vast array of aspiring models, actresses, celebrities, and or other females, including minors from all over the world. Upon information and belief, defendant transported minor girls from Turkey, the Czech Republic, Asia, and numerous other countries, many of whom spoke no English. To plaintiff's knowledge, the only females specifically excluded from the defendant's sexual escapades were African Americans. So minor girls from all over the world, Turkey, Czech Republic, Asia. So, you just don't know. Like, because they don't speak English, they may not even know, like, our news or anything.
Yeah.
They may just be like, what the heck happened to me? Maybe that's why the predator class wants them, is because they just can't even communicate. They may not even understand what's going on. This is the scene from Eyes Wide Shut. That's literally Alice in Wonderland. She's eclipsing the Star of Ishtar. And then you can go buy a Star of Ishtar right now for $90 from Melania's
Oh my god,
Melania's website. Yeah.
that's wild.
And
That's
the director of her new documentary is a guy by the name of Brett Ratner, who's in these
he's
files.
all over the files. Yeah.
Well, he's friends with Epstein. There's just no question. They're hanging out in a very personal way, like they know each other. There's the magic circle at the very end of Eyes Wide Shut. You can see the magic circle symbol there. That's an actual real group. That's not just some board game. It's a board game to reflect the real group. And then who else is in the magic circle but David Copperfield and David Blaine, also associates of Jeffrey Epstein. And then you just go on. Jean-Luc Brunel is labeled as a scout for the young females. David Copperfield's in a lot of notes. I think he's in the Black Book too. And this guy's had a lot of court cases and stuff like that. Honest to God, believe I was drugged. Magician David Copperfield's alleged victim speak out. That's from 2024. Two 15-year-old girls. Seemed like a thrill of a lifetime. Gave him his phone number after a 1991 show. I don't know. I haven't read the whole thing. There's also a reference to like a really heavy secret society called the Ninth Circle. This is
right. Yeah. Okay.
Steve Bannon to Jeffrey Epstein. He goes, abandon all hope, ye who enter. And then Jeff writes back, Ninth Circle, pretty ominously. The next day. And they're involved in human sacrifice stuff. There's Blaine. There's Bill Harford with a dead body. This girl died suspiciously. Her name is Ruslana Korshinova. Supposedly a beautiful young girl got so depressed she jumped out of a 9th floor window, which I find hard to believe. But you never know. Just before her 21st birthday, jumped out of her Manhattan apartment at 130 Water Street. Just goes on and on. There's Bondi asking questions from Lou about stuff. The other girl who died, he's asking her about a death that's reported in these files, and the death is of this girl who's mentioned in a article in Kiefer, Oklahoma, and we know her name. Her name is, I forgot. This they reported in the Oklahoman. That's her right there. What's her name?
Okay.
I thought I had a thing of her name somewhere. Head blown off. Thought I had her name in here. I forgot. Oh, I do know it. Where is it? Which is also very rare. Like women don't usually, when they kill themselves, they don't leave like nasty. Like men blow their heads off and things like drive off on roads.
Yeah.
But women like climb into bed and take a bunch of pills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They don't do violent stuff. They're just not violent. They're just not as violent as men, to their credit. Just not physically as violent. Korshinova, and the other girl's name is Dusty Ray Duke. What's her name? So
Dusty Ray Duke. Okay. Interesting.
I mean, guys, this is just it's Eyes Wide Shut level. Like there's just Eyes Wide Shut. The girl who saves Bill Harford, she supposedly commits suicide too, right? That's what they say. And then the medical examiner just goes along with the thing. He goes, yeah, of course she did. Right? So like you can't trust the medical examiners, guys. I wish you could, but people get paid off. Like if you have enough money, what's your number? What's your number for payoff? Anyway, I gotta run. It's like my 90.
All right, man. Before you go, one more connection that you showed me is this magazine with
Yes.
Andrew and Alice. So I saw your post on that, and then I saw that you had seen it on eBay. So I went to eBay and I bought it. So that'll
Nice.
be on its way to me. So yeah, next time we talk, maybe I'll
But
have
that's
it.
an Eyes Wide Shut to tie-in, right? So they just did Eyes
Absolutely.
Wide Shut came out in July. That's Alice, and there she is with Andrew, who we talked about, who's like the CUNT.
And
And these are like, I mean, the parallels are. I mean, that's just shows how brilliant Kubrick was. He was trying to tell
Yeah.
us these
and
guys are up to this stuff.
another perfect tie-in with the scene with Alice dancing with the European guy. I forget his name, and he asks her to go look at the art upstairs. And I was reading a book about Trump and how he used to have these parties with him and a few other old men and all these young girls, models, whatever. And that is exactly what they would say. Like, oh, do you want to go check out the rooms upstairs? Do you want to look at the rest of the house? That was like the slang for like, let's go hook
That's
up.
the code, right?
That's the code,
Wow,
right?
look at the
Yeah.
art. And then that ties into when Bill goes up and helps the girl who's been drugged, right?
Exactly.
So this drugging thing, which you just talked
Yes.
about with like Copperfield or whatever. So like he's in front of an art thing. He's literally in front of an art piece. So art is an important part of Epstein and an important part of that film. So these guys are all art collectors. Leon Black's an art collector. It's just incredible. Like he knew, like I don't come from that background. Like I was a pretty much egalitarian state school, but Kubrick seemed to know, he got a lot of those details correct, like a lot of details really correct. And there's pictures. I'll show you the pictures of, like, I don't know if Epstein was ever brought into heraldry or something, but there's pictures of him in his house with like literal heraldry stuff that's in Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay.
I don't know where it's from or how it got there or anything. Ties in like just more, it's just more research can be done to see what these guys' network is, but it's like there's Jeff wants specialty art. He's involved in all this stuff. It's really crazy. Anyway,
all right, man. Always a great time with you, man. Always.
Till next time. Till next time, guys.
Before you go, before you go, just let everyone know where to find you, where to find your shit, man.
Yeah, it's William Ramsey Investigates podcast. I've been posting a lot. If you go back to January 30th, that's when I really started posting a lot of the Epstein stuff on my X account. It just like people are totally interested, and there's a lot of comments too, a lot of great comments. So you can go to and follow me on William Ramsey on X, and a lot of great reading. There's no censorship yet, to my knowledge. There might be throttling or shadow banning or stuff like that, but my posts have not been taken down. So at least to that, I don't know if they're being promoted, but at least to that element, I'm not being taken down. So you can check out some of that stuff there. And then I post a lot of stuff on Patreon. So you can go to my Patreon, William Ramsey Investigates.
Cool, man. All right, buddy. You take care, William.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me, Jordan. Until next time.
We're going to do a 4-way Epstein panel. So we'll be in touch soon on that. All right, my friend?
Sounds good. All right.
All right. All the best, William. Peace, man.
You too.
All right, guys. The one and only William Ramsey. That was a great show. Please, before you guys go, please subscribe to the Divulgence podcast on Rumble and YouTube. I really appreciate that. We're trying to get our numbers up, especially over this month. Trying to get our watch hours up and maybe get some ads or monetization to get super chats and stuff if people want. And we do have the Rumble tip jar open, but again, those are not things that I'm going to make a priority at all. It's just nice to see the show grow and take those steps. So if you guys could please share the show. Please get people to subscribe on YouTube and on Rumble. You can also get audio versions on Spotify, Apple, wherever you guys get your podcasts. And for any of that stuff, a nice comment, a 5-star review, some thumbs up on the videos. That stuff always helps. But please subscribe first, because that's the first step. If if there's anything that you guys want to reach out about, you can guys reach me on X at Divulgence Pod. Sorry, I see a comment in the chat, just kind of distracting me. So sorry about that. Please leave link to William's channel. It is William Ramsey Investigates. So go check that out on YouTube. I forget what other platforms he's on, but I think he probably just wants you to go to the YouTube. And his X, like he said, is at William Ramsey in. But yeah, thanks to everyone in the chat. It was a very busy chat today. Lots of great comments, lots of nice compliments. So thanks to you guys. And again, yeah, please subscribe to the show, especially on YouTube and Rumble. Yeah, I think that's it. Other than just to talk about our affiliates real quick. We are affiliated with Ollie Demigard and his Demigardian experience. Right now, he does have an offer for, I believe, €100 off his 2006 Freedom retreat in Bali. And then if you go to his website, lightonconspiracy.com, you can get a free copy, digital copy of his 2-volume book, Coup d'etat in Slow Motion, about the assassination of Olaf Palme and its links to RFK, JFK, MLK, and all that stuff. He's a great expert, so definitely check him out. And of course, Scott Horton, who will be coming back, I think, on the 12th. He has his Scott Horton Academy open now, and we are a part of that, which we are very, very lucky to be a part of. So please go to scotthortonacademy.com/divulgence for a discount. Yeah, thanks again to everyone in the chat. Thank you, Sipanon9711, who just subscribed. Make sure everyone else subscribes. And yeah, I think that's about it for now. On the 6th, we have Adam coming back from the Truth Desk. I think Ryan Dawson's coming back on this. He was supposed to be here on the 6th, but I think that might now be the 8th. We'll see. Crow777 is coming on the 19th. We are going to be, myself and Hadsberg, we're going to be on JJ Vance's show on the 13th. And yeah, I can't remember all the other bookings right now, but stay tuned for that. We have a lot of great stuff going on. Yeah, so take care, and yeah, all the best.